Anyway, let's get to the LA City Council meeting that's live currently. But before we get to the LA City Council meeting that's live currently, as a matter of fact, let's start off with LA City Council's racist comments controversy. That's our top news story of today. LA City Council meetings were recorded, and my Lord, were they saying some crazy shit, okay? God damn it. They were saying, like, at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break, okay? And they were like, we want everyone to see those ads. We don't want them to subscribe, you know? It's so fucked up. They were straight up saying things like, you know, that's just wrong, honestly. Like, they were saying, like, I hope no one subscribes for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime by connecting their Amazon Prime account to their Twitch account to get one free Prime subscription a month. I hope no one gifts a sub. You know what I mean? Tamana, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. And Annabot 5000, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Alex Franco AV, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Allowing 20 people to no longer see the ads. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. It's wild that they were saying that, though. I mean, it's just... Yo, what's up with Twitch? You just raided me into Abelina Sabrina away from your stream. So fucking weird. Wait, what? Actually, Carlos and Sakura Gore, thank you for the 5 get this up as well. Here, let's continue. All right, let's watch what the LA City Council had to say about
Garcetti
Mike Bonin.
The latest political power player to say 3 city council members should resign after their racially charged comments were recorded and leaked to the media.
Other council members, as well as both mayoral candidates, Karen Bass and Rick Caruso, are also calling for the 3 to step aside. KTLA's Jennifer McGraw live at City Hall with new details. Jen.
Micah and Cher, this audio recording has no doubt it's shock and it's outrage and anger all across California. Even the governor releasing a statement, the sheriff and many city leaders calling on 3 council members to step down. Outrage and political blowback for some LA city leaders after racist and derogatory slurs were leaked in an audio recording from a meeting last October.
So you'll start seeing them line up.
Council President.
Wait, they're not... Are they not going to show us? They have to show us.
Nuri Martinez using expletives, referring to District Attorney George Gascon in a conversation about redistricting. Martinez, along with 2 other Latino members of the Los Angeles City Council and top county labor officials, were heard in that meeting speaking nonchalantly of ways to afford their own political gain.
It just proved, I think, a lot of things that people already.
How are you not going to show the full audio, man? What are you crazy? I mean, goddamn. Let's take a look. Let's go into the real shit, okay? Let's get the juice and the sauce. LA City Council members Nuri Martinez, Gil Cedillo, Kevin De Leon, and LA Labor Federation President Ron Herrera were making racist comments and discussing redistricting. Knock LA has some of the leaked audio. Now, this is an hour and 19 minutes of just insanity. Here's Herrera talking about Gascon.
All the, folks like with Gascon, he did call me. He wants to have breakfast with me.
What's taking him so long?
I haven't. I just said, hey, we need to talk.
Gil supported him from the...
All right, don't worry, I got you. So you'll start seeing them line up. Isaac was the first.
Have you seen the security guard who talked about how bad Twitch fans were? Yeah, we did. There's more. Hold on. There's more. Just wait. In the recording, Council President Nuri Martinez says of Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon, fuck that guy. He's with the blacks. There's nothing you can do to control him. And he says, when he's talking about Mike Bonin, who used to be homeless, and he's a council member, very controversial council member that all the other council members fucking despise. He talks about his son. He has an adopted black son. and he calls him a little monkey. He says he looks like a little monkey.
Whatever the kid's name is, I'm like, it's like the oddest thing. It's like black and brown on this float, and then there's this white guy with this little black kid who's misbehaved. Este niño has they're not giving us, they're not doing, the kid is bouncing off the effing walls on the float, practically tipping it over. There's nothing you can do to control him. Parece changuito. And I'm just like, oh my God.
He's a little kid. He's like a little baby. Okay. LA City Council President Nuri Martinez was recorded calling a fellow council member's 2-year-old black son a little monkey, and said she wanted to give him a beatdown. She said this about a 2-year-old. Okay. It gets worse. In the recordings, Nuri Martinez says the district attorney George Gascon, fuck him, he's for the blacks, and plots with Kevin De Leon and Gil Cedillo to chop up Nithya Rahman's district in order to weaken her. Which, by the way, remember, like, these are the neoliberal city council members actively trying to figure out ways of removing people like Nithya, who are leftist council members, okay, from their positions of power. These are people who were democratically elected because people said, hey, we don't like the way things are going. We don't like the way things have happened so far, especially with respect to how homelessness is being tackled in our districts. And we have an alternative that revolves around an empathetic approach, an alternative that revolves around housing first policies, an alternative with the best that, of course, they can do. Clearly, it's still not the best. And these are all libs. This is one of the greatest examples of the ideological differences between liberals in safeguard districts and in safe, like, liberal territories, and the way they treat actual leftists, like actual progressive candidates. Tracy Park, who's running for CD11, tweeted that Nuri is an incredible leader and an inspiration. This tweet has now been deleted. Tracy Park for LA, the voters deserve a clear statement. Do you stand with Nuri, or do you repudiate her endorsement given her actions? Hugo Soto Martinez calls for CD6 Nuri to resign. No word yet from his opponent in the CD13 race, Mitch O'Farrell, on whether he continues to support Nuri after today's revelations. Notice how a lot of the existing city council members the existing city council members are the ones that got caught are in support of all of the city council members that I am and people like Adam and you know the DSA Los Angeles branch is advocating for. You know, people that truly want to side with labor or come from labor unions that want to handle the homelessness crisis with adequate permanent solutions rather than short-term, like just leave them eating trash in the fucking street solutions. Like truly solving the crisis. A crisis that was created as a consequence of, our completely broken, fundamentally flawed housing market that treats homes not as a necessary resource for survival, shelter, but instead as an investment vehicle. And of course, a lot of the homeowners associations, real estate developers are on the side of people like this, and therefore they do not want to solve the homelessness crisis in a city like Los Angeles. And by the way, you might be looking at it from afar being like, hey man, I live in Maryland. Okay? I live in fucking Maryland. It's not like that here. Yeah, not yet. Any area that is urban, and I don't mean urban as in like, the fancy Democratic Party way of saying black. I mean like urban, like a city. Okay? Any area that is going to be a real city is going to have these issues. Okay? Anywhere that is overpopulated is as long as they are looking at as long as they're looking at housing not as a necessary resource for survival, but instead as a investment mechanism, is always going to have this kind of approach. That's why you're seeing places like Austin, Texas also experience some of the similar problems. Hugo Soto Martinez is calling on Council President Nuri Martinez to resign, and we want a full and deep and thorough investigation into who else was a part of this and how deeply this is rooted as the foundation of City Hall. This is Rich coming from Rick Caruso. Rick Caruso, by the way, was endorsed by Gil Cedillo. Rick Caruso himself is like a mega real estate developer, right? Like he is almost, if you could point to a guy in California or in Los Angeles, this is like one of the, there's nothing better to just like, there's no singular force that is responsible for this kind of crisis than a guy who has his own boulevard named after him. You know what I mean? Inside of the Grove, Mr. Grove himself, Mr. Rick Caruso. I mean, how many buildings does this motherfucker own in Los Angeles, right? Anyway, last year at the direction of Mitch O'Farrell, LAPD detained 19 journalists at Echo Park Lake. It didn't make anyone safer, but it was the most arrests that U.S. Press Tracker documented on a single day ever. My opponent called the operation an unprecedented success. Lack of accountability creates a culture where bad actors can blatantly disregard civil liberties. Now, of course, these guys are slowly but surely either getting kicked out. Gil Cedillo has been kicked out of the city council meeting earlier today, literally an hour ago. So you got that. Some of them are resigning. They should all resign, really. But let's continue with the scandal, okay, and what's going on. Martinez says that the adopted black son of the council member that he looks like a little monkey. This is a 2-year-old, by the way. This kid needs a beat down. Let me take him around the corner. I'll bring him right back.
They're raising him like a little white kid, which I was like, this kid needs a beat down. Like, let me take him around the corner and then I'll bring him back.
Yeah.
¿Sí me entiendes? Ven para
It's
acá.
a pinch. Something.
Yeah.
But here it's the fourth black.
I mean, I get what she's saying there. That's not, she's saying that it's like white parenting. She's making fun of white parenting in that situation. That's you know, but it's still fucking psychotic because the person that you're talking about is literally 2 years old. Okay, he's a 2-year-old baby. So you're out of your fucking mind. Make no, she's a Hispanic lady. Yeah, I mean, she's saying, you know, pull out the, la chancla. Yeah, exactly. But, look, I'm Turkish. I understand what she was trying to reference there about white parenting. But again, not appropriate, especially in that context, and certainly not appropriate when you're considering that we are talking about a fucking 2-year-old. Okay? Also, if you're Hispanic, that doesn't change. Like, I mean, you can be black and anti-black. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything. No, I'm not saying. Yeah, dude, child abuse is good parenting. You're right. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm glad you took your takeaway. I'm glad your takeaway from that was that I am wholeheartedly endorsing child abuse. Thank you. Because that's what I was saying. No, I'm talking about. I made no assessment on corporal punishment being an adequate tool to teach children, you fucking weirdo. child abuse is bad. Can't believe I needed to say that, but let me make it clear, okay? I know, I'm brave. This is why Twitch said I'm edgy. I don't know why Twitch said I'm edgy. I'm so, or this is why Twitch said I'm edgy, because I say stuff like that all the time. I say, you know, child abuse, not good. Child abuse, very much bad. All right, so then they talk about Martinez, De Leon, and Cedillo and Herrera are discussing black political power in Los Angeles and what De Leon terms the Wizard of Oz effect.
Yeah, that's called Cape Town.
Yeah,
I see a lot of little short, dark people.
Yeah, puro Oaxacan. Puro Oaxacan Koreans. Not even like Kevin, little ones.
I was like, no, I don't know where these people are from. I was like, I don't know what village they came, how they got here, but.
And so they're wearing shoes.
So one, I get what we have to do, right? Just massage to create districts that benefit you all, right, and the future.
Yep.
But we got to figure out Mark's seat too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, that benefits you three.
Because if the African Americans look at this, now that he might or may not be suspended, I don't know what's going to happen. I think he should be, but anyhow, if he goes away.
You mean resign, not suspended?
No, here's.
You're right. I think there is a difference.
If I may.
If he resigns, hold on. If he resigns and the African Americans look at.
I just hopped on. Are these people connected to DSALA? No, man. What are you, fucking stupid? No, these are literally like the mortal enemies of the people connected to DSALA. And half the time they're talking about literally DSALA candidates. No, these are like the neoliberals that are in positions of power that are siding with the real estate developers and fucking despise the DSALA candidates. Like, these are the guys that straight up fucking are regularly talking about how much they hate that shit. How much they hate them.
At this as a hostile takeover because he's gone. We all have to figure that shit out because politically they're going to come after us.
Yeah, but can I say something right now? And this is what I call the ¿cómo se llama this guy? The movie, the Wizard of Oz effect. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by the Wizard of Oz effect is when you're at the side of the curtain, it's like this big voice. And it sounds big. And it sounds like there's thousands of them. And then when you actually pull the curtain, is that you see the little Wizard of Oz. Yeah. You know what?
I've never watched the movie.
It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I never watched the movie.
You got 100 people, right? 52 of them are Mexicanos. I feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty good about my chances of beating your ass.
25 are black. And the 25 blacks are shouting. And the
but they shout like there were 250.
Yeah.
When there's 100 of us, they're like, it sounds like there's 10 of us.
But
So, these guys are liberal, by the way. I just want to point something out. These motherfuckers are libs, okay? Remember, they're libs. They're libs. They're libs. Herrera tells Martinez, De Leon, and Cedillo that they must maneuver the appointment of a city council seat to someone who supports them. After De Leon rejects his initial suggestion, they seem to agree on Heather Hutt. Following a controversial process, Hutt was appointed to the council as a council member for Council District 10 in September this year.
If somebody slides in, right, temporary or however you do it, right, that person has to support the three of you. Has to support the three of you. And Danny.
You know who wants to run for that seat?
Reggie.
No, Isidore.
I ain't gonna support Reggie. Reggie was over there with Karen.
Who was over there?
After he was fucking sweating his ass off.
The one who will support us is Heather Hutt.
Yes.
I like Heather Hutt.
Yeah.
Heather's.
Says you're saying that the one that put in a blender and chop up, right? Martinez, Cedillo, and De Leon come to agree on aggressively gerrymandering Councilmember Nithya Rahman's district.
There's certain people who don't merit like us rescuing them. Your comadre, right?
I'm not arguing with you about that.
I know who you know.
¿Quién es tu comadre?
You know, Nithya.
Oh, Nithya.
She doesn't merit, right?
But this
She's not
map
our
doesn't-
ally. She's not going to help us. Her district is not a district we can count
If
on.
you're saying that's the one to put in the blender and chop up left or right.
But that's what they did.
Yeah. So
Go get that airport from his fucking little brother, that little bitch Bonin. They hate Bonin. Like, they fucking hate Bonin so much.
So getting back to Marquise, I told Danny.
He's suggesting about in redistricting, Councilmember Harris Dawson should take the airport from Bonin's district. She questions why Bonin thinks he is black. Then De Leon says his kid
You
is.
want to cut a deal, and if you want to make like fucking boss moves, I would go after the airport. He goes, fuck, I love that idea. I said, tell Marquise,
So
go take it from his friend.
Don't go.
Don't go
eastward.
after. Leave him
Go west,
alone. Go get the airport from his fucking little brother, that little bitch Bonnet.
How
Yeah,
many
what- what-
for black people?
I goes, what is with Bonnet? I said, Bonnet thinks he's fucking black. That guy don't think he's black. I go, he thinks he's black. I told her the same thing.
I get it. He's a diva. I understand that. Cedillo says he's happy with redistricting map K2.5. Calls and speaks of Councilmember Mitchell O'Farrell as Martinez's guy. Martinez expresses surprise that Cedillo is not as close with O'Farrell anymore after their COVID bromance and calls O'Farrell a diva. Fuck that dude, Martinez on Councilmember Bob Blumenfield. Ron Herrera tells Cedillo, De Leon, and Martinez that they are a little Latino caucus of their own and that his only goal is to get 3 of them elected. When Herrera says he spoke with CD3 Councilmember Blumenfield, he says he told him he sees all LA City Council seats as Latino. Martinez says, fuck that dude about Blumenfield. Martinez then calls Councilmember Krikorian's former chief of staff, the guy with the one eyebrow. Even the Armenians took a hit on this one, okay? She just, like, they had something for everybody. Okay, if y'all aren't Mexicans, y'all don't realize how funny this actually is. Mitch and Bonin are gay. That's intentional anti-gay commentary. Yeah, they're yeah. Like, they had it out for every demographic. Okay?
Coin, I think, will come with us by the mere nature that the labor map is better for Coin.
He also wants his guy elected, so he needs a district that Irene Nazarian can win it. That's what they want.
Yeah.
Mexicans can't be racist, bro. Yeah, no, totally. What's this then?
They want to be reassured that they have not an Armenian district in the valley, because that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But they want as many Armenians in that district as possible to be able to play. Now, I don't think Adrien gets elected. If a reputable white businesswoman runs in that district, it's still pretty white. But that's on them. I'm not cutting that deal with anybody, because I don't know that he can win.
You know that Aveen works for Caruso.
Irene. No, ya se fue.
Yeah,
He started his own business.
yeah, he's with Caruso.
Yeah, I like him.
He's cool. I mean,
I don't have a problem with him. He's been helpful to me in the past. He's critical of Krikorian because they had a small falling out when Irene left his office. Krikorian was really pissed off and stopped talking to him. I think they've made up, but I get along with Irene.
what's his
I have
name?
fun with him.
What's he look like?
Irene, the guy with the one.
I don't understand. Guys, like, I already said this. These people are in positions of power. They're politicians. There is no, like, Mexican or black or white in that circumstance, okay? You can only get worse. Like the fucking bottom of that threshold is already so bad. Okay? I don't know why people are like, oh my God, I can't believe Mexicans are like this. Like, first of all, no, that's not the case. But like, what is this? The first time that you've heard like a bunch of people in elitist circles unironically talk openly about their disdain for the working poor across the board and their disdain for the working poor and their representatives? Because half the people that they're shitting on, they're literally shitting on because they ride for the disenfranchised communities. Okay? That's the reason. That's why they're shitting on them. Also, everyone can be racist. America is an incredibly racist country. Okay? Countries that have been impacted by colonialism and slavery, okay, that have a history of I don't know, indigenous genocide in their development, are going to have a lot of white supremacist attitudes. And yes, North America, Central America, South America also falls squarely in this category. That's why there are consistent conversations about how Afro-Latina people get fucked over by other Latino people, Latino populations. There's colorism. There's so many different facets to this. Okay, it's a totally normal part of everyday existence in every fucking culture. Okay, but there are also plenty. There are also like there's plenty of racism within those communities in the identical capacity. There's even internalized hatred towards other Latino people. They have you on the recording. Hasan, I will be their biggest foe. Okay, dude, chill. Not only was what they said abhorrent, the purpose of the meeting was for redistricting and working to remove power of indigenous and black communities. And Ron Herrera, the leader of our LA Federation of Unions, was a part of it. Yeah. We're going to look at the new leaked footage of Kanye in a second. Okay? But let's continue.
Eyebrow.
It's a real guy.
Tall guy,
Oh, really? The guy with the one eyebrow.
It's a real guy.
tall guy.
He used to be Antonio's body person. Right? That's how I met him. He's married to a friend of mine.
What's his name?
What's his last name?
Sepa.
No, sir.
Vegetarian.
And it's an IAN, I bet you.
Bro, what the fuck? I'm not laughing at that. That's not funny. Why would they say such a thing? What do you mean? Can you explain that? No, this is, dude, people are so unaware because there is like, so, okay. There's a massive Armenian population in Glendale. It's the largest Armenian diaspora outside of Armenia. Okay. I mean, it's the largest Armenian diaspora on the planet. And oh my God, this motherfucker said genocide denier. Come on, brother. Come on. Take a week off. I know you're fucking memeing, but Jesus Christ. But a lot of you are probably unfamiliar with this. But they're making fun of Armenian last names because that's why he's saying it ends with an IAN, I'll bet you. And they laugh because that's why he laughs when he says, what's his last name?
What's his name?
What's his last name?
Sepa.
No, sir.
Vegetarian.
They start laughing when he says
It's an
Nigerian.
IAN, I bet you.
Well, what are we going to do, guys? I mean,
Anyway, after publishing, Councilmember Martinez issued a statement to the LA Times saying, in another moment of intense frustration and anger, I let the situation get the best of me. I hold myself accountable. She said she had a heated gaming moment, bro. She said I was so mad. That's why I said, you know, a 2-year-old black kid was a little monkey. You know how it is. Sometimes you get mad. It's a wild, wild fucking take. Like, what heated you up? What pissed you off? What, the existence of, like, black people in districts and shit? That's crazy. Doesn't seem like she's mad. Seems pretty calm. He was laughing. Yucking it up. De Leon provided a statement to the LA Times saying that he regrets appearing to condone and even contribute to certain sensitive comments made about a colleague and his family in private. I reached out to that person. The DO told the LA Times he does not remember the conversation. He's like, I've had so many of these. Bonnet and husband Sean Arian issued a statement calling for the resignation of Herrera, Martinez, and De Leon and called the meeting a coordinated effort to weaken black representation in Los Angeles, which it was. On October 10th, Councilmember Nuri Martinez resigned from her role as City Council President. So that's where we're at here. And for people that don't understand, like, I mean, I talked about this when I had Hugo on. Like, LA City Council districts are majorly powerful, massively powerful, okay? Cynthia came out with this, said, these recordings do not represent the people of the city or our need for unity in the face of existential challenges. What we need in LA is a politics of love, not one that pits historically marginalized groups against each other, which is true. She has not given up her seat. She's just given up her presidency. The worst part about this is that the mayoral race is cooked anyway. Like, it's not like Karen Bass is great. It's just cooked. It's all kinds of cooked. But, you know, the alternative is fucking Rick Caruso, who is awful. Def Noodles Show, thank you for the 20 gifted subs. Anyway, I'm going to run this, go pee while this continues the controversy.
About LA City Council.
John Peltz is a reporter with Knock LA, the first to publish the leak audio recording.
You have Ron Herrera in the room, who's this labor leader, just openly talking about candidates he supports, wanting to make sure certain people are reelected. You know, it really comes off like this is the way it is, and this is the way it's always been. And I think that's probably the most powerful part of the audio is just how unseriously these people are taking these issues. You know, they're couched with these horrible racist jokes.
And that's this part, as Martinez is speaking of Councilman Mike Bonnen's black adopted son at an MLK march.
It's like the oddest thing, it's like black and brown on this float. The kid is bouncing off the effing walls on the float, practically tipping it over. There's nothing you can do to control him.
That means, quote, he looks like a little monkey. Resign now! Protesters rallying, demanding Martinez leave office. And the fallout continued even after Martinez agreed to step down from president but remain on council.
Resign from the council, all of it. We should not have anyone serving that is not about the whole community.
Leaders at unrelated press conferences across Los Angeles speaking out with a similar sentiment.
It is unconscionable. It is not something that I think we can get through unless the individuals involved resign from office.
Nuri Martinez issued a statement apologizing, saying that she's ashamed and asking for forgiveness from her colleagues in the community. It's unclear if she will get that, still holding that power. Tomorrow, is City Council will meet at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. It'll be interesting to see what happens. That's the very latest live in downtown LA. Jennifer McGraw, KTLA 5 News.
Jennifer, thank you.
Anyway, so that's where we're at right now. I think it's still live. The LA City Council meeting is still live, but
not only us, They oppress not only the black community, but they have oppressed all of us as a human race. Many times we came before the city council to tell you about this, that this was happening, and I'm glad that it was a wake-up call for some of our labor partners too. All these construction sites, how many black workers do you see at construction site? Huh? That's been going on for years. Sheriffs, Chicano gangs oppressing black communities. In the sheriffs, how long have they been oppressing black and brown communities? Right? So, the last...
Oh, they cut him. They cut him. They cut his mic.
Were once in bondage in Egypt. Have become...
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you.
Oh, shit. The moment he starts talking about sheriff gangs, they cut him. They cut his fucking mic.
Good afternoon now.
Mexican gangs are racist? No, he's not talking about just like the Chicano gangs. He's talking about the sheriff's gangs.
Gil Cedillo, Nuri Martinez, and Kevin De Leon for showing us your real face and making sure you'll never be anything else in this city. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Hasan Zuniga, followed by Christian Green.
That's me. Hasan, I'm an organizer at ACE in South LA. I work with Latinos, Mexicans, Indigenous, and Black people. Marquise knows we have a lot of meetings on that. And I translate most of these meetings. And I work with this community. Last night, I spoke to them, and they felt that this was something that they already knew in the community. They're aware that our politicians have those hidden meetings. It's embarrassing to see that. It's embarrassing, too, that last year we had to be doing public comments to know that we were fighting each other for districts and district.
This is me if I was Chicano.
Situation. They want an investigation on that, and also in District 10, because we did hear that they were plotting to get somebody on their side, which is we know they're politicians, that's what they're going to do, but it's embarrassing that they got caught. Also, as we heard other colleagues in ACE, we want to make sure that the extensions of COVID-19 get extended even more, because we knew their plans were to end.
This is me if I can hit the grito.
And they were with the corporate landlords. I mean, what else can I say? You need to resign. Kevin De Leon, Nuri Martinez, and everybody else. Thank you.
Thank you. Christian Green, followed by Shian Smith, followed by Said El-Hawari. Christian Green or Shian Smith or Sadeh El-Hawari. Audrey G. Is Audrey G in the house?
Thank you. All right, the floor is yours.
So until you have all three resignations tendered and accepted, this is an illegitimate body. We might as well, we're wasting our time. Not only illegitimate, but anti-black, a tool of the LAPD, anti-poor people, and anti-homeless.
I mean, we knew that already.
I just want to end by saying that the worst part of that ugly, secret, backdoor Brown Act and civil rights violating meeting was that it was probably absolutely run-of-the-mill.
True.
Audrey G. Oh, that was you, I'm sorry. We have Ramel, followed by Nikolai Itanir. Ramal, followed by Nikolai Itanir. Reverend Shane Harris. Reverend Redeem Robinson.
Here's the thing, guys. This isn't about like Mexican people versus black people or whatever. This isn't all that shit. Okay, don't get caught up in. Do not get caught up in the high notes. This is about the rich and powerful seeing themselves as a different category, seeing themselves in a different category than everybody else. Okay? It's just like their disdain is obvious, right? Their disdain for black people is obvious, but ultimately, that violence that they enact through the apparatus of the state is conducted on the virtue of class.
Secondly, I'm asking the State Attorney General to investigate. I've already issued a letter to the State Attorney General asking for an investigation of civil rights violations in that meeting. And I support the efforts of an independent redistricting commission. We did it in San Diego. It showed impact. And I think it's imperative that that happens here. So thank these local leaders, and we call on this council to request the state attorney general to investigate, provide a civil rights investigation of these meetings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. Dr. Jill Humphreys and Cliff Smith, followed by Mike Gwynn. Dr. Jill Humphreys, followed by Cliff Smith.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Jill Humphreys. I'm a native Los Angelina, a Black California, and with the Blacks, and who also stands in solidarity with Indigenous and Armenian LGBTQ communities, humanity, basically. I stand before you as one of our professors and cultural ambassadors representing U.S. higher education, educational exchange programs where I've taught in both Ethiopia and South Africa, just recently returning. As a professor of public administration where I teach democracy, right? Part of our public policy or foreign policy, supposedly, we are the beacons of democracy. The actions of our city council members and labor union president is beyond the pale. It undermines the work many of us are engaged.
She says she's with the blacks, like as in a joke, a reference to what the council member said.
It's hypocritical. You're the case study that I'll be using to illustrate in the U.S. that we are an emerging democracy still, right? So when I go back within the next year to African universities and working with local policy people and students, I'm going to use this as the model case study. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you Cliff Smith? Yes. If you hold for just one quick moment, I want to make sure that I didn't miss Reverend Redeem Robinson. No? Yes? Okay. So Reverend Robinson was actually before you. Mr. Smith, if you wouldn't mind holding for just a moment. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My
Thanks,
name is
man.
Redeem Robinson. I bring you greetings as the Minister of Social Justice.
Thanks for letting me know my webcam is on.
We're the church with the blacks. So, very simple. I get tired of politicians talking about Black Lives Matter this and Black Lives Matter this and that. But meanwhile, we have people on this city council who are conspiring to disenfranchise black voters. I got a problem with that. And so I am hoping that this city council will hold Cedillo, De Leon, and Martinez accountable. And we are asking for full resignations, not no half-ass resignations. We are asking for full resignations and in a full investigation. I do believe that open meeting laws were violated. As a former school board member in Arizona, I know for a fact
Thank you,
open meeting laws
GDT.
were violated. So I ask that this council will do the right thing and say Black Lives Matter.
Thank you, Reverend. Cliff Smith will be followed by Mike Gwynn, followed by Reverend William Smart.
Cliff Smith, I'm the business manager of the Roofers and Waterproofers Union, Local 36 in Los Angeles. We represent hundreds of the hardest working construction workers across the city, many of them Oaxacan, many of them immigrant, and many of them African American. As the union representative, we add our voice to all the organizations that are here today to demand the immediate resignation of council members Martinez, Cedillo, and De Leon. We do not want to see these people back in this building ever again. Council member Martinez,
they're so powerful. Like they just will not do it. You know what I mean?
And not show up today to face your constituents.
And a big part of the problem.
Take your permanent leave of absence and do not show your face anymore in this building. Roofers Local 36, we've taken care of our business at the LA County Labor Federation. This body needs to take care of its business and make sure that these three people are excommunicado in this building.
Another problem with this is that, like, one, they're just not going to do that. Two, what you fail to recognize, at least watching from afar, like people that go into the city council meeting are usually the weirdest people, right? But in Los Angeles, the city council meeting is actually occupied by plenty of normal human beings that are kind. Like they're not cranks in the same way that you see it in like other places, right? These are real people. These are union organizers. These are people who are activists. These are people who are like, reverends and shit like that. But they're not going to actually end up getting anyone probably to resign. Now, the reason why I say that is because, one, they're fucking incredibly powerful. They're like, they have like serfdoms. Okay? And two, they actually kind of embody both the racial and classist resentment that a lot of the actual voters in their districts have.
sometimes that person is very hard to respect.
That's the unfortunate truth here, is that as long as they represent the interests of homeowners, as long as they represent the interests of like the upper middle class to the incredibly wealthy, as long as they can still continue to you know, keep real estate developers happy, they're not going to, no one's going to question their power.
Right now, our community is bleeding, but I want to thank, I'm going to take a different angle. I want to thank those 3 council persons and the Labor Federation, because they have caused unity in this community like I have never seen before. Blacks, African Americans, Latinos, Asian Pacific Islanders are coming together. And so the warning is to you. We just heard what was on the tape. But there was an attitude that caused this. They had a mindset of taking over and being in charge. And so I warn you, if you don't handle your business, the community is going to handle the business.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have Dewey, followed by Andres.
For the record, Corso, I am saying we should vote harder. If there's one area that you should definitely vote in, the fuck do you mean? It's this. How many times have I said this? I have quite literally said, listen, even if you don't want to fucking vote for the president because you don't care, you don't feel like your fucking votes matter, yes, local down ballot races are infinitely more impactful in your life, especially when there are candidates that align with your worldview. If those guys were completely irrelevant, if they were feckless, if they were powerless, they wouldn't be looking to desperately try to cut Nithya's district. They wouldn't be looking to push, they wouldn't be shitting on Mike Bonin for being gay and having a black child. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason why they're doing that is not because they have so much hate in their heart, which they clearly do, but the reason why they're doing that is because these guys are disrupting the delicate balance, the institutional control that council district members have. This is one area where you absolutely do need to fucking vote extra hard. This is a place where you're supposed to do that.
A, followed by Mike S. Sunflower A, followed by Mike S.
Hi, I'd just like to come here to tell you all that I would never want someone like a racist Tia or Tio, because we all know we have these family members who have these conversations at their dinner tables, in their grocery stores, and I would never want them to sit in that body where you sit there right there, Mitch O'Farrell. This is atrocious. We should not have people who are racist, anti-indigenous, anti-black, colorist, classist. Everything in the book was in that tape. And those seats should remain empty forever. Cedillo, Leon, Nuri will never set foot in this body, and you guys need to move a motion to remove them if they don't resign. Period. Today.
Get him.
Hi, I'm Sunflower. Sorry, I have epilepsy, so it might take me a minute. First, I just want to say it was a miracle that I made it into this city hall. A miracle. There are hundreds of people outside banging on the fucking door and seeing Mitch. Oh, let's talk about Echo Park, Mitch, and how you hate unhoused people and how nobody got housing because my mom works in homeless services, and unfortunately, she met Nuri. She met Nuri, and she told me, this is Nuri. This wasn't a slip up. This is her. Okay, and that's the only conversation we've heard. How many of you sitting on this council right now have had those closed door talks, fucking racist, bigoted? You are a disgrace. None of you represent the people of Los Angeles. You never have. It's clear. 2020, we were begging for the police to be defunded into the community. Fuck the police and fuck this city council. You're a disgrace.
And I believe we already heard from Mike S. Mike S. we already heard from. I have no other speakers in the queue. Richie, did you fill out a comment card? Yeah, you have 1 minute. 1 minute to.
Okay, thank you, Mitch. I put my name in as Richie earlier in the meeting, and you haven't called on me yet. So I 2 seconds ago, I just put Mike S. in. So thank you for finally calling on me. I want to say that the things that we heard on the tapes, this is just City Hall culture. I mean, you all exhibit anti-black behavior. Paul Koretz, he just put out an attack ad attacking a 20-year-old black kid named Sim Bilal, a youth activist for the Kenneth Mejia campaign. And Paul, you attacked him and said he was a dangerous black male. So that anti-black behavior, I understand. Yeah, all white people are racist, and this.
What? Okay, now we're getting to the cranks a little bit.
Yeah, racism exists in this world, and you all perpetuate it. Rich,
all right, so that completes our public comment. I want to thank everyone for coming in today and offering the remarks. Did you fill out a card as well?
Okay, okay, this is getting a little out of hand. Okay, we're just gonna move on. They're kind of losing the plot a little bit. Anyway, we're not going to do the Ukraine stuff yet because there's actually more to the Kanye saga. Turns out, Fox News, Tucker Carlson left out some parts from the recently aired 2-part interview between Tucker Carlson and Ye, the artist formerly known as Kanye West. Motherboard has obtained portions of the interview that were edited out of the final broadcast. These include numerous anti-Semitic sentiments from Ye, a strange and lengthy digression about fake children he claimed were planted in his house to manipulate his own children, and a statement that he is vaccinated against COVID-19. Now, that last part I find really funny. They were like, yeah, we shouldn't put the anti-Semitic stuff because he'll get in trouble, or like that we don't really need to air that sort of thing. That's fine. But they also, and we shouldn't put the fake children part because that makes him sound insane. But the funniest part is they were also like, don't let people know that he's vaccinated. So yeah, Carlson used the interview, which was presented as a piece of landmark television, to hit on a few of Fox News' favorite boogeymen, with Ye's enthusiastic participation, the Clintons, former President Obama, COVID restrictions, and of course the Kardashians. But what the Tucker Carlson team chose to leave out is just as revealing. So let's take a look at some of those sentiments. Here are some of the motherboard clips. This is Kanye being vaccinated. Why did they choose to leave this out? Who knows? I mean, I know why they chose to leave it out. Interesting.
Oh, every day we've been killing each other in the streets every day. One of the amazing things with Mayor Suarez is the murder rate has gone down. And yeah, I mean, you set that question up. You have more information about about what happened in the hospitals. So, in all honesty, I don't have the most facts, as many facts.
No, I mean in your life, like
so I might have
the
deflected.
COVID vaccine, the being stuck inside. Like, what did you think of all that?
I was vaccinated. It was interesting. A friend of mine told me that.
Why'd they take that part out? That's weird. That's a weird thing to take out. The other footage that didn't air specifically includes numerous asides about Jewish people. Ye has recently displayed an intense negative fixation on Jews, both on his Instagram and Twitter accounts that have been locked in recent days because of Ye's anti-Semitic sentiments. On Friday, October 7th, he appeared to suggest in an Instagram post that the rapper Diddy is controlled by Jews. Not long after, he promised in a tweet that he would go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, in all caps. In his interview with Carlson, Ye said that Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics, as he put it, created Planned Parenthood with the KKK to control the Jew population.
Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics, with the KKK to control the Jew population. When I say
what? Why did they? What?
A Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ.
Oh, he's saying black people. He's referring to black people as Jews. So he's saying that. Oh my God. Okay. We're going to run that again.
Known eugenics with the KKK to control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I
Wait, Sanger was a legit eugenicist. Did she actually want to control the Jew population? No. So you need to know a little bit. You need to go further in depth in Kanye lore to understand what he's saying. What he is mentioning here when he says Jew population is he's saying he is talking about it like a black Israelite. He's saying that black people are the real Jews. That's what he's referencing here. And he's saying that Margaret Sanger created a Planned Parenthood, and she was a known eugenicist, by the way. That much is true. That was all the rage back in the day. Okay, a big chunk of a massive chunk of scientists doesn't make it all right, by the way. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of people saw that as the new wave of science. Very hot back then. Margaret Sanger, however, wasn't just interested in like ensuring black people and the black population was controlled through abortion. That part is actually made up, for the record. She was in favor of everyone being able to have access to abortion. That part is actually true. Also, we're called upon to grapple with our 100-year history. We can no longer afford to reconcile Margaret Sanger's legacy. We must reckon with it. In the recent New York Times op-ed, Planned Parenthood Federation of America's president laid the foundation for this moment. The difficult truth is that Margaret Sanger's racist alliances and belief in eugenics have caused irreparable damage to the health and lives of black people, indigenous people, people of color, people with disabilities, immigrants, and many others. Her alignment with the eugenics movement rooted in white supremacy is in direct opposition to our mission and belief that all people should have the right to determine their own future. And decide without coercion or judgment whether and when to have children. Guys, stop saying Miz is live. I don't care that Miz is live. He already mentioned that he has an ongoing active, I don't know if it's a lawsuit or whatever the fuck's that is going on. There's still an active investigation, and he's not going to talk about it. So if he's not going to talk about it, I'm not going to sit there and watch him like play Nintendo. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's continue. Play Nintendo, you're such a boomer. We must acknowledge the harm done, examine now how we have perpetuated this harm, and ensure that we do not repeat Sanger's mistakes. We denounce the history and legacy of anti-blackness in gynecology and the reproductive rights movement and the mistreatment that continues to this day. We value the fundamental freedom of all people to control their own bodies, their lives, and their futures. So yeah, that is a sentiment that they have addressed before. Now, in our second century, Planned Parenthood is being given an opportunity to look inward, address harm, and uphold our mission and care for the communities we serve. They refilmed the Margaret Sanger part. It's here in the Tucker cut. Click. It's like 30 seconds. Just see what they recut it as.
Any way they can. Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics with the KKK, and I believe that if we saw ourselves as a people and not a race, then we would treat our people better. Like if you.
Okay, well, that's what they cut it as. Okay, got it. Here is the original, though.
Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics with the KKK, to control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the people known as the race black really are. This is who our people are, the blood of Christ. This, as a Christian, is my belief. And I believe that if we saw ourselves as more.
When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the people know as the black race really are. Ye added, this is who our people are, the blood of Christ. This is a Christian is my belief. The statement matches up a few different claims. Sanger was indeed a racist and a eugenicist, a stance the organization has since denounced. Claims that Planned Parenthood exists to kill black infants in the womb are common across several conspiratorial spaces. Ye was also referring to the claim, unsupported by historical evidence, that black people are the real Jewish race, which is often used to promote anti-Semitism. The Southern Poverty Law Center has a broader explanation of this particular tangled claim, which is often, but not always, associated with the Black Hebrew Israelites, a movement that originated in the 19th century, a movement that has some of the best drip. For the record, just going to put that out there. The Mortal Kombat drip is unmatched to this day, but that's besides the point. Some black Hebrew Israelite sects believe that non-black Jews are imposters or usurpers of the true Jewish identity. Kanye West has seemingly, gone full-blown. I mean, here it is, for the record, for those of you who don't know, for those of you who have never seen it, it's pretty fucking drippy, okay? I will say it. Not stop me from saying that. It is true. Because it is literally true. Also, there's some cool historical rewriting going on in Black Israelite identity. We've talked about it. We've covered it before. Anyway, since the late 1960s, the radical Hebrew Israelites ideology splintered to form increasingly anti-Semitic, anti-white, anti-LGBTQ, xenophobic, misogynistic sector groups who preach they and only they are the true Israelites of the Bible, and they perpetuate the anti-Semitic belief that so-called Jews have stolen their identity and birthright. The continued struggle of black indigenous people of color in America can find similarities in the narrative of Judaism, particularly in the book of Exodus. For radical Hebrew Israelite groups, however, the similarities are used as a foundation for their anti-Semitic beliefs. Radical Hebrew Israelites appropriate biblical Jewish heritage to claim an exclusive identity as the true chosen people of God and decry Jews as the imposters and thieves. These groups seek a divine form of dominance rather than equity by declaring superiority over all other nations. Now, this in and of itself, like the black Israelites, is a non-issue across the board, even though they have had some instances of violence against against, Jewish groups, Jewish people. There have been instances of direct violence in the hands of black Israelites. But overall, it's considered like a non-issue because they are powerless, irrelevant, a tiny sect, and genuinely have zero power whatsoever. Everybody fucking clowns on them. They do have some funny takes, like I think Shakespeare is black. Like a lot of historical people throughout time were actually black, but then they and that how could you say that? What? I mean, Louis Theroux had met black Israelites and had an in-depth conversation a long time ago. It's like Afrocentrism. It's reactionary. It's built around. It's built around. Here's where it comes from. Okay. This in no way, shape, or form is a way to justify these guys' beliefs, for the record. But there have been many studies conducted on this. There's many people that have done in-depth analysis into where this kind of attitude comes from. And a big chunk of that is basically a defense mechanism for a lot of people who have been historically held back, in a way to avoid that historical intergenerational trauma and just basically make up your own history in an effort to say, hey, this didn't happen. This horrifying legacy of chattel slavery was actually a lie. I don't want to think about it. I just want to make it seem like there was just an alternate history that has been lost now. for the record, which is why, I don't usually cover it as much or anything like that, specifically because it's like, do this to feel less embarrassed that their ancestors' own people. I mean, yeah, it's like, well, there is more to it when white people do it because white people are still in control and in power. Because whiteness as a concept is like, directly means that you are the people in a position of power. If anything, this is black people trying to create an alternative history where they are the white people. White in, I mean, politically white. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about like literally the color of your skin. It comes from a desperation to want to rewrite history because you don't want to look at it. You don't want to see it. You feel embarrassed by it or you feel hurt by it, understandably so. So you just decide that's not even the case, actually, as a matter of fact. It's totally different. What happened is totally different. Okay? We were the ones that were dominating. In any case, though, what if white people rewrote history, though? White people do rewrite history. What the fuck do you mean? It is copium. I mean, I'm talking about it in more serious ways, but like, what do you mean? What? Motherfucker said, what if white people rewrote history? You mean history as it's been written? Like what? That one is they got some curveballs in there. That's the craziest one. He said Cleopatra was actually not black. Anyway. Look. The only thing that is clear cut and black and white is the top of the hour ad break. Okay? No matter what your background is, no matter what's going on, at the top of the hour, you're going to be served with a ad break, okay? And that ad break is going to be 60 seconds. Sometimes it'll be shorter, but it's at the very least going to be 50 seconds, okay? Now, if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or you can do for free with the Twitch Prime. That's the only way to escape it. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you will get one free Prime subscription a month. You can also get gifted a sub. Sohaib Bozo. So hi, Bozo. Thank you for the 5 get the subs. Allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads. Here's the 1 minute ad break coming to you now. 1 second. Boom. Blammo. Here it is. I served it. The council signed a motion to have those on the phone call resign. Okay, we'll get back to that in a little bit. Let's continue with this though. Anyway, so Kanye, when he says like Jews, sometimes he's talking about Jewish people, and other times he's talking about black people. He uses both. And another aside about Jews that didn't make it to air, Ye used the strange metaphor when talking about black people judging one another, telling Carlson, thinking about us judging each other on how white we could talk would be like, a Jewish person judging another Jewish person on how good they danced or something. He paused. I mean, that's probably like a bad example, and people are going to get mad at that shit. A few moments later, he added, I probably want that
exactly
edit that
what our
out.
culture is based on. Think about us judging each other on how white we could talk would be like, a Jewish person judging another Jewish person on how good they danced or something.
By the way, ironically, that is one of the least offensive things Kanye West has said about Jewish people in the last couple of days, which is hilarious. He's basically like, it's so weird. It is so weird. First of all, that example doesn't even make sense because black people acting white or code switching is done as a defense mechanism, okay? in a white supremacist system. Jewish people dancing well is not even a thing. Like, you know, I've never even heard of that as like a stereotype or anything like that. And I don't even know how it would tie back to that same kind of like historical violence or the avoidance of said historical violence. Lol, not even a thing. No, I'm saying like, is that a thing? Like, I've seen Jewish people get down. You know what I mean? Like the bar mitzvahs and shit. I didn't even know that that was like a specific thing. I thought that was like a white person thing across the board, but here you go. I mean, yeah. What do you mean? Hey, I mean, what do you even mean? No one thinks that, it's on. Everyone jokes only white Christian Westerners can't dance. That's it. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the joke, is that like white people can't dance. I've never heard that like Jewish people can't dance. I've never thought like that was ever even a stereotypical thing. Anyway, regardless. Let's get back to it.
I mean, that's probably like a bad example when people are going to get mad at that shit. But another thing that they do that I probably want to edit that out in front of that like that. Okay, so, you know, I was talking to Ice Cube today, and we got really beat up in 2020 for saying we need to approach things a different way and not just be trauma drunk. Right. Which is a term that God just hit me with in the past couple of days. We are no longer trauma drunk. We are no longer trauma drunk, and we're no longer trauma bonding, and we're no longer woke in the sense of what woke is, because woke is just complaining about racism, but not doing anything about it. So what we're gonna do about it is say, hey, you know what? Y'all not gonna send nobody at me based on my opinion. You asked the question before. It drove me crazy to not be able to say that I like Trump.
They cut that part out too. At another point, when complaining that his children are going to a school that celebrates Kwanzaa, Ye added, I prefer my kids' new Hanukkah than Kwanzaa. At least it will come with some financial engineering. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Bro, that's literally Trump, dude. Okay, that is unironic. That's Trump. That's Trump. Some of this stuff would make sense if you put it in a different context with someone who wasn't the worst. He sounds like all the manager ever had a large company just spewing bullshit with random words thinking he invented them. The belief that Jews control the financial system is one of the oldest and most deeply rooted anti-Semitic claims. Is unclear if that's what he meant by financial engineering, a term generally associated with the creation of exotic financial instruments.
I was biting my tongue on my political opinion because I thought it would be better for my children. And now you look up.
For the record, like when he's talking about Hanukkah versus Kwanzaa, it's obvious that he's not referencing Jews as black people, okay? Didn't a chatter joke about this yesterday? Maybe he'll say Jews control the banks, but they do a good job. Yeah, that is what we joked about, yeah.
My kids are going to a school that teaches black kids a complicated Kwanzaa. I prefer my kids' new Hanukkah than Kwanzaa. At least it will come with some financial engineering. Kwanzaa doesn't, so they don't teach even Christmas itself, Christ Mass.
Yom Kippur is when Jews gather and learn entertainment management. Yeah. Famously. I mean, that one, right? That sentiment right there is a Felix bit, okay? Except the difference is Felix is Jewish. Not XQC. I'm talking about Biederman. I know he's going to love that shit. I think Black Israelite stuff should have never faded out of the culture. Much more interesting than his Christianity shit. I agree. I agree. It is content. If people are going to go bananas mode, if people are going to go batshit, at least make it entertaining. And all the like evangelical Christian just sucks. It's so boring. It's so fucking played out. As a Jew, my parents did stress the importance of financial responsibility. What with all those days of presents? Isn't it like tiny presents? You know what I mean? It's like toothbrushes and shit. I don't know anything because I didn't have Christmas or Hanukkah. You know what I mean? Muslims, unfortunately, do not have any, like, talked about this a lot. Muslims, unfortunately, don't really have any of that shit. There's, like, nothing fun. The one time everybody gets together, I guess we have Eid, right? But it's not the same. It's not the same. Anyone that says Eid is the same is fucking crazy. Get out of here. And it's also like, Ramadan is literally not even Yom Kippur is where you fast for a day, right? Sun up to sundown. Ramadan is fasting from sun up to sundown for a fucking month. It's crazy. That's a whole month, dude. It's wild. Anyway. Especially Ramadan goes crazy when it hits the summer. Yom Kippur is dinner to dinner fasting. Yeah. Anyway, I've talked about this a lot. It's not the time and place to talk about it again. Okay, so one more aside. Ye told Carlson that he was going to be the first Latino president. The statement was aired, but it was followed by something that wasn't. I trust Latinos when I work with them. He told Carlson. I trust them more than he paused. I'll be safe. Certain other businessmen, Carlson did not ask which businessmen those might be. I wonder which businessmen he was talking about. Carlson's program also didn't air a strange claim from Ye that fake children had been placed in his house to manipulate his children. I mean, like actors, professional actors placed into my house to sexualize my kids, he told Carlson. He referred to the so-called son of an associate, seemingly to imply the child was fake. We didn't even believe that this person was ever her son because he was way smarter than her, right? Yeah, he's spoken frequently about living bipolar disorder and experiencing manic episodes. In 2019, he discussed how he experiences these with David Letterman telling him, when you're in this state, you're hyper paranoid about everything, everyone. This is my experience. Other people have different experiences. Everyone now is an actor. Everything's a conspiracy. Is there a video of this? Please check out this Bill Burr take on Kanye.
So anyways, I just got to do this. When you talk about race and that type of shit, as a white dude, you just got to go easy, It's very easily, it starts feeling like a meeting, Whenever I start hearing like, yeah, all right, woo! That's when I go, all right, I got to pull back a little bit. You start seeing what I'm saying. I wore a country shirt.
I can't get over how awfully this is you could not have found a worse. You could not have found a worse recording. It's like a recording of another recording of another recording. Like, what the fuck is this, bro? It's so fucking scuffed. In case you missed it, Kanye West opened a Christian private school called the Donda Academy. Parents must sign NDAs to have their children attend. Price is $15,000 a year. The school's not accredited. Here's a video from kids in the Donda school singing Good Morning Donda. I gotta pee real quick while this plays.
Good morning, Donda. 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 Good morning, Donda.
That's what you can get to do in unaccredited schools, by the way, which is pretty chill.
So anyways, I just got to do this. You know, when you talk about race and that type of shit, you know, as a white dude, you just got to go easy, you know? Because very easily it starts feeling like a meeting, you know? Whenever I start hearing like, yeah, all right, woo! That's not good. All right, I got to pull back a little bit. People aren't seeing what I'm saying. I wore a country shirt. Things are getting a little off the rails here. Can I get back to Kanye West? Half of you probably downloaded his shit, all right? All right, here we go. So my wife got freaked out because I told him, like, early on, she was loving the guy. And I was thinking he was cool. And then one day I saw him do an interview, and he was talking shit about how great he was. And there was just this look that was in his eye, and it just made me nervous. I'm like, dude, this guy is volatile, man. There's something with this guy. He's making me nervous. This guy is, like, right on the edge of, like, snapping, right? She goes, you're out of your mind. And I was thinking, I don't know. I think this guy's fucked up. And then I was convinced, because one day I came walking in, and she was listening to him do an interview, and I didn't know it was him. And he was just in the middle of talking about how great he was. And I came walking in, and all I did was hear this shit. And, like, literally a chill, like, no. And I turned, and I looked. Before it even registered that it was Kanye, my first thought was, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. It's just a black guy. Oh. Thank God. It's just the black guy. Yeah, I know. You're right to pull back. This is right to get awkward here because you don't know where this could go. This could very easily go in a clannish direction, okay? So just let me clarify. Just hear me out. I'm thinking, thank God it's a black guy, meaning, thank God that ego that is in him, when that thing floated down from the heavens, or the cosmos, whatever the hell Joel Osteen shit you believe, all right? When that thing was floating down, it could have landed in anybody. Thank God it landed in a black guy. Thank God it got wrapped up in that, trapped within that. It's safe in there. No reason to worry when it's in there, because if that ego, however, had floated down and landed in a blue-eyed white dude, there is no telling the damage that could have been done. You're talking entire civilizations wiped out, worldwide famine, the moon colliding with the earth in a black guy. Because he's just as nuts as some of the craziest white dudes of all time. He just doesn't have the opportunity.
What a weird take. Not a weird take. He's talking about, he's jokingly referencing that, not about like black people not being good enough to be fucking powerful. More so a take on white supremacy from the exact opposite side. Talking about power, who has it, and white supremacy taking, keeping black people down. And it's also a joke. Don't explain the joke, bro. Except, you know, the part that is correct is that Kanye does have that kind of ego. The part that is incorrect is that white guys do have that kind of ego as well. And not only that, but also Kanye West being elevated and platformed by conservatives, now that he is coming out as a conservative, reactionary conservative, is going to be elevated beyond that.
To follow through with the madness, right? Yeah, there's a glass ceiling on evil. You never noticed that? Dude, go home, put on the History Channel. Like the top 9 out of 10 most batshit crazy dudes who ever walked the earth are all white dudes. Now, why is that? Because white dudes are more evil than anybody else? It's a possibility. It's a possibility. We definitely got the numbers. But I think it's different. I just think, you know what it is? Nobody's watching white dudes. All right? White dudes don't, too many of them gather and somebody pulls up. All right, break it up. Keep it moving. Get out of here. Getting pulled over for no fucking reason. None of that shit. You're a white dude. It's just an open field. Anything you think, hey, I'm going to do that. No one's stopping you. You just start running. Next thing you know, you're handing out buttons. You got your own uniform. You're starting a fucking war, right? All Kanye West is allowed to do is fuck up an award show every 3 to 4 years, make a public service announcement a little awkward for Mike Myers,
That's as far as he's ever gonna get. I know. You don't believe me, dude. Okay. Next time Kanye's going off on himself, I'm telling you, just close your eyes, forget it's him, and really listen to what is coming out of this guy's mouth. He says shit like, I'm a genius. I'm a god. I'm Shakespeare. My biggest regret is I'll never get to see myself perform live. That's a direct quote. My biggest regret is I'll never get to see myself perform live. Dude, you put that ego in a white dude that is, ich bin einen in der Streisen. What's the Blitzkrieg? What's a superior race? Vienna will return to Deutschland first. No, I'm telling you, but we're okay. We're okay. It's in a black guy. Nothing's gonna happen. You never notice that shit? Crazy black guys, the far as they can get, they can just freak people out on the subway.
He's quite literally talking about black Israelites. Like, he's literally making a joke about black Israelites, which is nearly identical. Well, maybe not. I wouldn't use terms like this, obviously, because I'm a political commentator and I'm describing powerlessness that black Israelites have versus, you know, or like black supremacist movements versus white supremacist movements.
They can stand on a street corner with their book and their friends just yelling about white people. These people, they got tails. The motherfuckers got tails. They're evil. And you just cross the street. That's it. In a perfect world, Hitler never would have made it past the subway level. That's as far as he ever would have got. You would have just football, I don't know, and the door just opened. He'd just come walking through. Once they should have the blue eyes and some blonde hair and the pubes like the sun. And you're just sitting there like, okay, just ignore him. Just ignore him. Let him pass through. Let him pass through. And he'd just walk into the other part of the train. Literally a world war. Just passing through. But he was a white dude. No one watched him, and his hair was flopping around, and nobody gave a fuck. All right? So that's kind of like the...
This is literally all you have is get your extremist left-wingers together and hate on the white man. Get a life. Bro, you're talking about Bill Burr. I thought you motherfuckers that cry about this shit were like not into comedy policing. Like what? Bill Burr, extreme leftist? I mean, I think so. Right? All leftists know is hate white man and lie. Guy was in Blouse chat yesterday talking shit about you. Fuck yeah. I love that. We're not even going to ban him. I look away for 1 second to report someone and that's what happens.
Weird lesson that I learned with Kanye West. You know? Like every once in a while, racism works. Like 99.9% of the time, it's the ugliest thing we do to one another. But every once in a while, we get lucky, and that marble, it rolls into the right hole, and we get off easy. We got off easy with that guy. I got to commend you guys. You did well with the Hitler reference. You did all right. Nothing quiets a room like dropping the H-bomb.
At least it's been a few days since the last Fredophobic tangent. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen people unironically be like, bro, he hates Italians. Like, he's being racist towards Italians. Sarah Silverman is getting canceled for this Kanye take. Let me guess. Kanye threatened the Jews yesterday on Twitter, and it's not even trending. Why do mostly only Jews speak up against Jewish hate? The silence is so loud. The thing that kills me is I was talking about white people, but here we are. Wait, how was it not trending? What? It's been all over. She's right. Are people not fucking talking about this? I feel like this is a pretty big news story. It wasn't trending. I wonder if Twitter actually took it down. It literally was when she tweeted that. No, I think like, no, black people are because we do not care. What? Your politics on Twitter trends, but not on normie Twitter. I mean, trending is so personalized, like it's hyper personalized, the algorithm. So it's hard to figure out like what's trending globally. And they do actually take certain things off of the global trend on purpose. But like, I mean, it's so dumb to say that like Black Twitter wasn't talking about it is crazy, obviously, because I mean this is like very much within that realm. Especially because it started off as like white lives matter, so there is that. But also because so then like everyone was talking about it. Every step of Britta, the tweet was trending. I remember DEFCON 3 trending. Black Twitter has been clapping Kanye since the Trump hash. You got to chill. No, but like the idea that like, you know, all black people have to address Kanye West takes is silly. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Even though most black people do talk about Kanye West's statements all the time. But like the idea that like, oh man, you know, Kanye West, like black people need to address this immediately. Like, what the fuck? Do not look in the replies of what Sarah was replying to. Worst mistake of my life. Wait, what? What was she replying to? Oh, they posted her doing blackface? Yeah, she has done blackface. And she says some other racist shit too. Yeah, of course. She was a comedian in like the 90s and the 2000s, man. You kidding me? Trigger warning, there's going to be some racial slurs most likely being hurled here, I assume.
Maybe it's like
I don't even know if I should play this.
when black guys call each other niggers.
Yep, okay. All right, well, let's just turn this off, okay? All right. Go. That hard R was so hard. Man, that was like, first of all, guys, wild era. Okay? Wild era. That's all I'll say. Early 2000s was wild, okay? People were just saying whatever. People were saying it. People were saying things like it was going to save their life. Now that doesn't mean that people aren't still saying it. They're just not saying it as much on TV. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel, king of late night, did blackface on cable TV like once a month for several years. That was true. That is what happened. People were saying stuff like "that's so gay" as an insult lightly. Yeah, except That has now made an ironic comeback. People also say the F word. That would have gotten you smacked back then too. That's why her whole joke was, whoops, I did it around black people, my bad. The time period is not a great excuse. It's not an excuse. The fact that they were able to publish that is insane, is what I'm saying. She could have not went hard to our lol. Like, why the extra? I mean, yeah, you gotta say it fully with your chest. I know a lot of young Gen Zers who were in disbelief when I showed them the OG Let's Get It Started. Yeah, I don't think people understand. Oh my God, dude. Here, let's. Did you guys know that the original song by Black Eyed Peas called Let's Get It Started in Ha was not actually that, but was this instead? Like, that was straight up. That was the song. That was the song. Chat really being charitable to anti-black racism, but everything else is inexcusable. Shit hurts my soul. Dude, Jordy, I mean, first of all, there's a lot of white people in here, so of course that's happening. But I don't think it's happening as much as... Don't focus on what chat is saying. Focus on what I'm saying, man. What the fuck? That's my goal. Okay? I'm here to educate people, okay? No, that's what hurts, because I know how you feel. It's been years and they never change. You should watch poorly aged commercials. Yeah. I remember hearing that song when it released and thought I was not understanding the lyrics. No, this is... Pam says we build a community and always don't look at the community. No. These are building blocks upon the community. Yes. Part of that is going to be microaggressions. I yell at even trans people that get mad when I talk about like the concept of dead naming, for example, because I know that there are going to be people who are conditioned into not understanding the impact of microaggressions, right? And white supremacy is one of the most ever present, anti-black white supremacy is one of the most significant foundational pieces of American civilization, American societal development. It was quite literally built on white supremacy. Okay? So that is infinitely harder to address and take down in many ways. People are very, very good at basically being anti-black without saying it. You know what I mean? Like way more so than even anti-trans or any other form of bigotry. Anyway. White supremacy goes so much further than anti-black too. Some people are too focused on that aspect. No, I mean, but no, the basic fucking, okay. Understand that the basics of white supremacy still revolve around the exclusionary aspect of blackness. Whiteness as a concept in and of itself is built around the guidelines of not what it is, but what it isn't. And what it isn't always and forever will be black. Okay? That's it. The Get It Started version was censored for TV and radio. I don't know that it had anything to do with the NBA game. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of anti-blackness, I mean,
Some people say, well, they're soft on crime. No, they're not soft on crime. They're pro-crime. They want crime. They want crime because they want to take over what you got. They want to control what you have.
That's crazy. Who's they? Who is Alabama's very own Tommy Tuberville talking about right here? Huh? Bro, you got that accent. We already know. We already know what the they is. Okay? He just wants to say the N-word. They, them, Democrats. They Democrats.
They want reparation because they think the people that do the crime are owed that. Bullshit. They are not owed that.
Dude, this is such old school. This is such old school racism. The idea that black people feel like they want to do crime, they're advocates for crime, and that they feel like they're owed something, and that's why they do the crime, is some of the oldest form of white supremacy in the books, okay? Straight up.
Bullshit. They are not owed that.
This is basically like 60s era. Every fucking old racist white guy said this. This motherfucker was a college football coach. Omega Law, what a fucking cunt. Talk about not learning anything from that. I mean, dude. Wonder how he treated his black players when you think about that. Isn't he talking about Democrats? Might be wrong. I mean, come on, man. What do you mean? When people say Democrats, especially in the South, they're referencing black people. When people say woke or political, in a lot of circles, they're usually referencing black people. That's why they don't say black mermaid, they say woke mermaid. Why? Why is woke mermaid a thing? He also talked about reparations. Like, what more do you need? It's crazy. Being crazy now. Oh, here's another one.
Crime is surging in Louisiana. Woke leaders blame the police. I blame the criminals. A mom should not have to look over her shoulder when she's pumping gas. I voted against the early release of violent criminals, and I opposed defunding the police. Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead.
First of all, that's a great quote. And I've addressed this before. Crackheads are industrious. Crackheads are entrepreneurs. They could probably solve your problem better than a cop could. The fuck is a cop done? Crackheads, they get shit done. They're on crack. I think that a lot of problems will be solved if we made it so that people with fat nussies can't hold office. Yeah. They also probably know the community better than anyone. The problem with crack is that we still haven't been able to figure out a way to like use it like a performance enhancing drug.
I'm John Kennedy, and I approve this message.
Okay. If you could just like do a little bit of crack. I once saw a biker get hit by a car that sped off. A crackhead arrived on scene, gave first aid, all while another crackhead chased down the driver and brought him back. Yes, the driver was also a crackhead. Yeah, it's both good and bad, you know? Tulsi on JRE. Oh, let's go, dude. Of course she is. We're gonna talk about Tulsi in a second. But yeah. Oh, there were more parts about Kanye. I forgot. We were talking about Kanye West. We were talking about Kanye West like sentiments that were taken out. Okay. So let's take a look at what some of the other parts that were cut. Ye has repeatedly claimed on Instagram that his child Chicago was not permitted to see him on her birthday, something like Kim's sister Khloe Kardashian responded in the comments of the post, again with the birthday narrative. Enough already. We all know the truth, in my opinion. Everyone's tired of it. You know exactly where your children are at all times, and you want to separate birthdays. I've seen all the text to prove it. A lengthy piece of the interview that was also not broadcast involved Ye's ruminations about the death of Virgil Abloh, the fashion designer who was one-time friend and who died in November 2021. Ye accused Louis Vuitton, where Abloh worked at the time of his death, of killing Abloh, and said he was beefing with the company. Abloh died of cancer at just 41 years old. At the end of the day,
we all know we have to answer to God. Now, some of us...
This part was also heavily edited, but they kept it in for the most part. I don't know what they didn't actually keep in from the interview, but I remember he like basically said Virgil Abloh died and got cancer and died because he was working for the white man. Kind of like Barack Obama. He called Virgil Abloh a BLM ambassador, similar to Barack Obama. He said he lost his hair like Barack Obama got white hair. And Virgil Virgil lost all of his hair and died because he was working for the white man.
And in desperate times may grab a little bit too much of the Hennessy. I'll be specific. Arno, shout out. Thank you for making the Hennessy. It's delicious. That's an LVMH company. I'm kind of very much so in beefing with them right now because they killed my best friend, Virgil.
How did they kill Virgil?
First of all, they hired him. Well, do you want the, I'm gonna try to like give you the abbreviated story.
Yeah.
Okay, so Virgil was hired as my assistant and he ended up becoming one of my best friends because we traveled everywhere. We traveled to Japan, we interned in Italy at Fendi because we weren't accepted in Paris. And we started to gain momentum in the design world. And then Virgil did his own line called Off-White. And then I stopped doing the Kanye West line and started doing the Yeezy line. And I did a licensing deal. I had a licensing deal with Adidas. I mean, we still have that deal. And we did this fashion show that was it was like the most seen fashion show in history. So Bernardo No, the head of LVMH, asked to meet with me. And he offered me a deal. But with the deal, they had to have ownership because they're colonizers. They're not there to just, hey, we're going to give you support and, you do the best thing you can. All these people, a lot of the VCs and a lot of these kind of companies, they have to have ownership. And Louis Vuitton had presented themselves in such a way to have so much real estate where a black man's dream come true would be to have that level of support from a company, because then we can go back into the neighborhood in our pink Cadillac, metaphorically.
Yeah.
The pink Cadillac
I've never seen someone get so close to the fucking overarching point, dance on top of the point, and then avoid it like the fucking plague. Okay? Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand how you can get so goddamn close. And like, when Tucker Carlson does this, he weaponizes it, right? He talks about like left-wing economic populism as a vehicle to deliver white supremacist attitudes, right? We already know that. Whereas Kanye West, on the other hand, is just like, he is a victim of propaganda. Let's be real. What do you mean? You literally do this every stream? Wait, what do you mean I do this every stream? What could be the main point if it's not, if I don't tie it back to materialist analysis?
Like was literally invented for that. Do like Google that. I don't feel we don't have enough time to talk about it right here. The Cadillac, that specifically color pink, is just like so. All of my design team wanted to work with Louis Vuitton. So Bernard Arnault shook my hand, said we're going to do the Kanye West deal at Louis Vuitton, and I was actually going to give him the lion's share, which thank God I didn't. 3 months later, they dropped the deal at the board. The next collection I do, season 2, we don't have anyone to support it because I had to have Adidas indemnify the collection. The third collection, we're there. Virgil's working with me. He's got his line, but he's my main employee, and he's running the Donda design group, and he's bringing in Heron Preston, and Matt Williams is working with me, and we have our crew.
I love this dude. It's just like having this conversation with Tucker Carlson is so fucking funny because the average age of this audience right now is like 78, okay? The most 78-year-old motherfuckers are watching this going like, what do you mean? Virgil Abloh? The fuck is a Donda?
Crew. And we do this show at MSG, and it's like a big hit. Season 4, I did a show and it started late, and I was really depressed about that. Then a week later, Kim got robbed in Paris. Then I just tell Scooter, after I finished this, Scooter Braun was my manager at that time, I said, after I finish this leg of the tour, I need to just take a rest. I need to go to Japan. I love it in Japan. And Scooter's like, no, you have to do more touring. And 4 days into that tour, I was exhausted. I screamed from stage. I would have voted for Trump. This stuff. I was exhausted from everything at that time. Like the fashion show, my wife getting robbed, all these people telling me I couldn't say anything about Trump. It was just a lot. And I ended up in the hospital, and I wear that badge every conversation I can be.
By the way, this is him supposedly explaining how Louis Vuitton killed Virgil Abloh. Okay? Just to give you a frame of reference for what the fuck we're encountering here, I will repeat it. This is Kanye West trying to explain to Tucker Carlson his insane statement about how Louis Vuitton killed Virgil Abloh.
You know, put down for that. So Virgil is going on and, you know, being more and more successful and clicking all the dots, all the boxes that a black designer and black creative should click more than anyone ever. He's basically like Michael Jordan. You know, he is the Michael Jordan of fashion, literally. He's clicking all of these dots, and he gets the deal to be the head of men's design at Louis Vuitton, which is, you know, aside from Hermes, is one of the most prestigious jobs in the world. And he goes in, and the product is selling. Virgil was actually the third person to die of cancer in that organization. So not just black men have passed in that organization, but the third person to die of cancer that was in a higher up position in that organization. And with Paris, it's a different level of elitism and racism. And Virgil was the kind of guy that he didn't hold it in. And I believe it ate him up from inside. And
how old was he?
40, early 40s. And
he said he's my best friend. Can't remember how old he was when he died. That's crazy.
People are like, what you mean you're his best friend? You don't know the exact age, but I don't know the date. You know.
He's a young man.
Yeah, he's a young man. So he the level of racism, elitism, and pressure that he was under, I'm sure affected his health. And then at that point, also me and Virgil had a rivalry because he had taken my place in fashion. He now was Drake to the radio of what he was to fashion. And we had a strained relationship also. But the people I've spent the most time with in my life is my mom, second, Kim.
Yeah, maybe you killed him then. Like, I don't know. Just saying. Like, maybe your ego and your rivalry, if you think like cancer just fucking built in someone's body. Kanye mad as well. Virgil became friends with Drake. Yeah.
Third, Virgil. Lost all three of them in, you know, in some way.
It's wild that like a lot of this, he's again talking about, yo, what closet did you lock Jack Manifold in? That's my second studio. It's all Marat stuff in there. Anyway, let's get back to the main point at hand here. So, I told you guys, yeah, Jack Manifold is staying with me. Listen. Tom was kind of an asshole at TwitchCon. Yeah, dude, famously. Okay. First message following is 2019 crazy. Yeah, you know what's happening there. Hiko said you gave off good vibes. Oh, that's awesome. That makes me happy. Wait, hold on.
Guys. Hey guys, how you doing? Nice to see you. Happy post TwitchCon. Beautiful day in Los Angeles, California. The convention is over. It was lovely to meet everybody. It's sad that it's done. It's like, honestly, it's kind of what I work for. I mean, if you say I work. You know, that's why I grind it out on stream every single day, is to do these conventions. You know what I mean? Or you could say I just kind of like float Like I do like a splash here and I kind of like pace myself so I'm relevant to get noticed at a convention. That's my career. I just relevancy, slow splashes. Okay, stay relevant so I can get recognized for autographs at a convention. That's my entire career.
All right, sit over here. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to call you out.
Oh.
Let me finish this Kanye West thing first.
Don't call me out too hard.
What?
I'm going to pee while you finish this Kanye West.
Okay, well. I'm going to call him out in a second. Austin's here. Oh my God, is the guy from the show Bruce one? Yeah, it's Mr. Show. I did turn on his microphone, don't worry. Anyway, came out of nowhere, was going to say hi at the convention, but there was already a literal swarm of people.
At this point. So I felt with Bernard Arnault, not only did he pull on the deal that contributed to me breaking down and go back on his word with that, he also went on to hire multiple people out of my organization. Like anyone that ever worked with me.
Okay. Yeah, go do it. Go do your thing. Don't worry about it. I'm just fixing the camera angles and stuff. Followed you just to say you got a massive L to get shit on by Andrew Tate. Dude, I love that. Thank you. Keep being a femboy to what? To try and get a girl for the first time? Commentate W. Who's Andrew Tate? That's crazy that there's these motherfuckers out here still on this. What's he on? Does he have any socials that I can check? Andrew Tate? Who is that?